That's crazy, man. Do you probably get this a lot, but do people tell you that you look like Eric Clapton? Yeah.
You've said that so many times now.
That's funny.
I put on weight during COVID, and I stopped getting asked that, because he's so gone.
How funny. That's got to be fun or irritating. One of the two.
My first name is Kirk, and I got all the, beat me up, tasers on stun, I got all that.
That's crazy. So I was going that route, and everything happened with COVID, and I didn't really know. It seemed crazy to me what the music programs might be like in the future, So I'm just like, if we can't even be in the same room, how is music going to happen? And it's like, yeah. Oh, it's got to be. Yeah.
We never played a mixer digital and I tried to figure out the technology to bring us together. It's like guys were investing a lot of hours.
Somebody like me. Here's one of the biggest problems I see, not just in band, really in every classroom. You talk about your ELs and everything else. I am somebody who learned to read music by looking at the page, but first hearing the person next to me who knew how to play it right, and then I would start to make the association. Okay, that's what they're doing. That's what that means, and that's how I learned. And at that age, they need to be able to make those connections. It's so hard otherwise.
You testify. You tell it how it is.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I ended up, because I just got out of my credential program not too long ago, and I ended up getting a multi-subject. I'm teaching second grade right now, but
We're trying to do this stuff.
Well, yeah, and I think in the future, I probably will go back and get my credentials for music as well, but it's a surreal experience right now because second graders have never had a normal year of school. The most they got was most kindergarten, but
just totally socialized.
Exactly. And then so going into first grade, that never happened, and so their experience of what school is supposed to be like, learning how to be in a classroom, none of them have those skills. They just show up, they sit there, and but they No, they don't know how to sit. They don't. It's constant redirection. Behaviors. There's a higher level of behaviors than we've ever had in the past. So, just kind of a lot of them, most of them, are pretty far below grade level. Vandalia and Porterville, and you're teaching some of them you're teaching letter sounds, and it's a second grade. They're typically reading at this point.
Okay, thank you. I'm a little hot, aren't I? Well, besides that, I think I'm too loud, maybe. I don't know. Is it okay? Is it okay? It's a little loud. I'm hearing from the folks down here it's a little loud. Better? Better now? Okay. Well, good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Visalia. This is our morning service coming to you from Visalia, California here in the Central Valley. It's my pleasure to welcome you. I'm Reverend Nan Bankston, the senior minister here, and we're going to have 15 minutes of meditation time now. So Kevin will be playing the piano, and for those of you who are at home, you may certainly just sit back and relax and enjoy your meditation just like everyone here in our sanctuary will be doing. We'll be back at 10:15, and we'll see you then.
This is a really so you're filling in for Fred.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much.
This lady is so sweet.
Thank
Believe
you
me.
very much.
Take
Okay.
more. Don't have to
Chocolate
force
is
us,
good.
right?
You don't
I'll
have-
get it yet. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
so both Joey and I had a marching band.
Oh, God.
On some days, I don't know what we'll call it today.
No, I'm not saying it. I sang last week and the week before. I wasn't even supposed to be here.
Sometimes I sing. It's a little rough this morning.
Last Sunday, I was exposed
But yeah.
to somebody who then came down with COVID. So I had a test.
Try.
So I had a test, and the test came in late enough yesterday. The response was
Huh?
negative. But, I mean, I got it late enough.
Oh, I'm not a professional.
Go home.
I don't want to make it worse.
I'm negative.
Oh, prayer.
Could've gone, but it was a
That's.
really
I didn't hear that part.
for that. So I wasn't supposed to even be.
I thought you wanted me to try and fix your leg, like take a look at it by like
For you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm barely authorized to touch this thing right here.
Pardon me? Yeah, indeed.
What's that? No, I'm not. No. Yeah, no, I mean, I noticed him out there. His brother, played with him forever. He recently moved to Texas.
They broke the bands up back then. I think it's just incredible bringing that population.
No.
I'm pretty sure I was telling you, when I first moved up here, I came from San Diego, I got to walk around there, real early. It's not my music. Well, now you know.
Yeah. I'm okay.
I just wasn't. I bring one of those.
Yeah, I try to get him up playing whatever. There's like it's from my experiences, what I associate it with is the dance you hear at Disney. It just has like a fun kind of magical feel. You don't people play like that anymore.
Right.
So that's
We had that. We had a guy up there. His name was Earl, and he's a rancher, and we played tuba. And he was kind of the moving force. Right? Those guys did their research. So like you did with that too. They knew the stories and they knew the deal.
I'm sure I probably would heard him in the past because I would go to those out in Greer. There's
Yeah.
And they had, but it was like, was it Dixieland? Was that what were the different bands? They were all like one kind of.
It was Dixieland.
It was
but
Dixieland, right? It was
But there's
that.
so many. And there was a local dude that used to have a sextet down here that would go up there and do that. But I remember my parents took me up there before we even moved here, and to the prayer service on Sunday morning, Dixieland style prayer service. It was cool. These guys were from Northridge or something, and they were, God dang, those old ones are so funny. They would just stand up on the podium and just crack jokes.
Right.
You know, the whole time, and then we'd sing a prayer. You remember the prayer services on Sunday morning? Bruce? Do you remember the prayer services at the Jazz Affair on Sunday morning? Where Night Blooming Jasmine would go up there, and the guy would tell stories and tell jokes. It was so funny. I was telling Kevin.
I bet you we probably were playing together at some point and you didn't even know. Yeah, it's
You know how that is. It's just like way goes on the way. It's some weird casual somewhere.
were you playing it in 2000?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I getting everybody pictures of beer over at me and Ed.
Yes.
I'm like,
I'm joining you. Right.
nobody cared. Nobody said anything.
That hang was such a good hang.
Yeah.
Those guys were, it was, Lisa got me into it because Lisa and I were college.
Okay, cool.
And then I met Bill, and Bill and I hit it off because he's another one.
Very laid back.
And then my favorite thing of that whole gig was standing up there in the trumpets and everybody's like, ah, rah, 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 rah. You know how it is in a big gig. You look familiar to us. I'm sure we did a couple of those gigs.
I was about 100-something pounds lighter probably that night. But
Time marches on, baby.
but I was gonna say, do you happen to know who Waylon Hicks is? Sax player.
Yeah.
He's younger.
Rings a bell.
Yeah. And he's my buddy who got me. And they're playing him and I. We're the only like COS students in the Thursday night band. Everybody else is all like music teachers, you know. And so that was easily the best I ever was at sight reading.
Yeah, that's what I loved it for.
Yeah.
Had to read.
Yeah. Well,
They always had a good drummer, and it did not matter
Well, here we are. Thank you, Kevin, and Joey on the drums, and Kirk on the bass guitar today. And so thank you very much, guys, for getting us going here. So here we are. It is Sunday. It's Halloween. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Visalia Sunday service. I am Reverend Nan Bankston. I'm the senior minister here, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this day. It's going to be filled with joy and life. I guarantee that, and a whole lot of love. And is there anybody here for the first time? Okay, so we have a welcome packet for you, and we will get that for you, and welcome home. We're so happy you're here with us. Okay, that's Kelly, who's new with us. Thank you for being here. All right. So, we've got some announcements today. I have a special announcement that I'd like to make first, and I think they're going to put the slide up for me. For those of you who are here in the sanctuary, starting on the 14th of November, I'm going to be doing a little fun prosperity workshop that'll be right after service. It'll be about 20, 25 minutes at the most. It's called Ka-Ching. And Ka-Ching is where we come together and I give you some ideas about how to grow money in your own pockets, some principles of abundance and prosperity, and we look into all of the abundance that is already in your lives that you are receiving every day. It's really fun, it's fast, and we get to see everybody's prosperity in action. So I really invite you. There's some flyers on the back. It's really, really fun. And there's a little part where we put money in a bucket, and every time we do that, you will hear the sound of a cash register ringing going ka-ching. So you don't want to miss that. The November Science and Mind magazines are for sale out on the shelf out in the bookstore. They're in on time. And now I'm going to turn it over to Donna. Thanks, Donna.
I get to wear my Halloween hat one more time. Today is Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. I hope some of you saw some of the wonderful pictures from our Halloween bash that we had at the Layman's. We had some amazing costumes, and we raised a little money for the center. So next time we have an event, I hope more of you will be there. So let's go to the next slide. This is to remind you that next Sunday you get an extra hours of sleep, and we're falling back. So if you come early, that's fine, but you can sleep a little longer. So our first Friday art walk is this coming Friday. And here's some of the art that we have in here already. I just love some of these. They're wonderful. And I think I'm going to get a few more tomorrow. We're going to hang the show tomorrow. And I hope you'll all come because the bookstore sale is going to start. Bev will be here selling her books for 50% off. And we'll have this wonderful art. And we're going to have foreign exchange students here. These are students. A number of years ago, we had the same group here. They're from WorldLink. It's a program that works with the State Department to bring high school students from former Soviet and Muslim countries to the United States in host homes with the goal of mutual understanding. And the idea is that they'll go back to their country and take that mutual understanding. So you can see the one on the left there. She'll be playing that instrument, whatever it's called. I can't quite understand some of these words. But they're always wonderful students. They'll be telling a little bit about their country. They have boards about their country. They'll be wearing their costumes. And at least one will be playing some music. They'll be here from 6 to 8. Art show is from 5 to 8. And the students will start performing at 6. So I hope you'll be here for that. The bookstore sale starts on, like I said, on, I don't know, you're going to start before that, or we're going to start it on First Friday. Okay, so Bev says we will sell anything. She's got a lot of the books on 50% off. And, of course, we have our dollar books, and she's going to clear out the bookstore, and then we're going to get wonderful new books in. So you can do that today, or you can do that First Friday. Our Rosalinda Verdi Alexander concert is coming up. We're going to present her with the Marjorie Brandon Award. And, of course, Marjorie Brandon is our own wonderful 109-year-old person that our gallery is half named for. So tickets are available in the bookstore, $25. I hope you'll all come. We need to sell some more tickets. We can only sell 90, but we want to sell all of those. So get them either on Eventbrite or in the bookstore after center. Yeah. And one more slide. Here's a few of the things you'll see at the slideshow on Rosalinda at that event. Rosalinda she first appeared on stage at age 3 when she asked her mother. Apparently her mother was washing dishes, and she said, "Mom, when are you going to put me on stage?" Her mother said, "Do you even know what a stage is?" Obviously she did. When her name was called, she went up there with a queen's wave, walked up and down the ramp, knew exactly what to do. So you can tell she's always been the stage person, and these are some of the shows she's been in, and you'll be seeing those too. So I think that's it. We're going to call Sharon up.
Thanks, Donna.
I am right now being the diversity person. We do have a diversity team, and we do our best to keep diversity and inclusivity going in our area and in our center. Our purpose is, I think there's a slide probably, to welcome all with love, by listening with open hearts and minds, and through honest, non-judgmental discussion, to learn, share, and foster a consciousness of inclusivity to best serve our center, community, and the world. And one of the ways that we try to do this is to have a quote approaching or about diversity. And today's quote is from Nelson Mandela, and it is, "The purpose of freedom is to create it for others." I think that's pretty important to take to heart. And now I'm going to switch hats a little bit, and I'm going to read our spiritual principle. We're going to read spiritual principle number 4 today. The one infinite reality expresses itself in 3 aspects: spirit, mind, and body. As emanations of the one, each individual has these same 3 aspects. And now with that thought kind of in mind, I'm being a practitioner now, and I'm going to offer a positive prayer. Actually, before I do that, I do want you to know I will be in that room over there if anyone here would like a quick prayer after the service. Also, we have some yellow cards. I don't know if I have one here or not. Anyway, over there on the table, if you'd like to have a prayer for you, you can fill out that card and put it in the box that's also on the table. Okay, now if we just want to settle into your chairs, take a couple of deep breaths, know who you are. I know that I am spirit. I know that each person here is spirit. Deep within us, this little spark of spirit is our truly true self. And I know that our lives, being that we have many, many, infinite, actually, choices to make every single day, I know that each choice that we make affects not only ourselves, but everyone around us. And as we remember that that spark of divinity exists in every single person. With that knowledge and that love in our hearts, and in alignment with the love that is Spirit, we make our decisions based on that. I know that each person, knowing and loving every part of this world, humanity, all of it, makes choices to allow that freedom that each of us has to be who we are. I am so grateful to know this, to know that each of us together, making the choices that we make, allowing freedom for all of us together, is powerful. I am so grateful for this knowledge, for this truth. I release these words directly into the law of mind, knowing it is done. And we say together, and so it is. And next we have the band.
That's so cool music.
We have
Music.
We Are One. Thank you.
So, we were going to divide the room up in half, but I think we're going to divide it down here, because we need half over here and half over here. So I'm going to lead this side. Scott's going to lead that side. It's the first verse. Let's show the slide. So the first verse, we're all together. It's a song that probably a lot of you know. And then the second verse, we're going to sing this side from Sheila over. It's going to sing the dark part, and Scott's side is going to sing the parts in parentheses. So they're the response. Okay, we got it? And the band is going to play it through one time first, so we get the melody.
Worked really well. Good job, Donna and Scott. You're hired. Goodness gracious. You see, you guys on the band are pretty sharp today too, I must say. Awesome. Well, once again, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in Visalia. I am so happy you're here in the sanctuary. And for all of those who are at home, wherever you may be, we are so happy that you are with us. I know that we have people all across the country that watch this, and that's kind of an exciting thought to think that this little old place here in the Central Valley of California is stretching out across the United States. Tell you, we're growing. Stand back. Be careful. So today we are stepping into a new field of freedom together, and that's my talk title. You know, we've been spiraling through the year, allowing ancient wisdom to express as evolutionary vision through us. So let's just take a moment to review our journey up until now. We began at the end of January with looking above, committing to our upward journey. And by the end of May, we were We were looking at boldly living a new story. And it was just about that time that I started boldly living this story with you all. So that was an adventure. And during that time, we were letting go of individual and collective stories that might slow our evolution. This week, we're on the third level of the spiral, if there is such a thing. And we rise to a meeting point out beyond a place where we can meet as evolutionary visionaries. Of course, we are familiar with the quote from Rumi, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there." When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase, each other, doesn't make any sense. What a beautiful thought. Getting out beyond that field of right and wrong requires that we remember who we really are. We are spiritual beings, having spiritual experiences in a human form. Now, sometimes it's challenging for us to remember that, since we live in a three-dimensional world with conditions that humans have created that may seem so unkind and oftentimes harsh and even many times depressing. The truth of our being, though, is that we are all emanations and creations of spirit. We don't always get into the threefold nature of spirit in my talks, but this was a good day for it, because that is one of our spiritual principles in religious science that's incredibly important. We believe the one infinite reality from which we all originated, regardless of what name we may use to call it, God, Spirit, universe, all that is, whatever. It expresses itself in three aspects: spirit, which is pure energy; law or mind, or what we call universal intelligence; and body, the physical manifestation. Now, each individual, each one of us, is made in the image and likeness of the one infinite reality and has those same three aspects. So each of us is spirit, mind, and body working in harmony. Well, at least that's the idea, that's the perfect nature of spirit. And, most definitely, there are days when I feel that, and I know that I am tuned in, tapped in, and turned on, as Abraham Hicks would say. And then there are moments when I can feel like I am lost in the desert. So it's at those times when we feel lost, those times are the times that I have to stop, hit reset, and remember just exactly who I really am. I am a spiritual being, having a spiritual experience in a human form. I remind myself that when the psalmist wrote, "I will lift up my eyes to the mountain from whence comes my help," it was a reminder to move beyond getting stuck in current circumstances. Instead, we are to look up out of our limited view to remember that we are spirit in form, complete, totally, and always supported by and as spirit. It is not that the circumstances that surround us aren't real. They have their reality. But the reality of spirit is greater and resolves the appearances of separation, the hurts, the fears, and the anger. The beauty here is that we are always at choice. And because we have free will, we are free to choose a new thought, a new feeling, and to choose to see the spirit in ourselves and each other. Sometimes we have a hard time figuring out what that really looks like, though. And this is the simplest way that I know to see it. It's so simple, so simple. We look at ourselves and everyone else through the eyes, the spiritual lens of love. Spirit is always pure love. It sees everyone through eyes of love that are accepting, allowing, and rejoicing in us just the way that we are and just the way that we are not. Zero judgment there with spirit. Zero. In spirit, there is no duality, there is no right and wrong, there's no us and them. It's not spirit separating itself from us saying, "Oh, there they are down there, and here I am out here. Too bad." No, no, no. No, no. There is only one Spirit. It is love first and foremost, and we are all a part of it. You know, we just sang, we are one, and in this unity we shall live in harmony. And that's a really important concept at this time in our world. Really important concept. That same essence of spiritual love exists within each of us and is a guiding light that shines in others also. When we choose to see ourselves and others through the spiritual lens of love, or, as the old song said, looking through the eyes of love, that's exactly what we find. We always say that energy flows where our attention goes, and that's a really nifty thought. But here's the kicker on that one. That energy is dependent on our energy. So what kind of energy are we using when we are focusing our attention and creating? When we are having a crabby, angry, jealous, or mean-spirited energy driving our focus, we will find plenty of it in others and the world around us. And when we remember instead and feel the love that is our true nature, we will find plenty of it in others and the world around us. Looking to ancient wisdom again, the psalmist notes that metaphorically, we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, not around it. Only by facing appearances head on and allowing the infinite within us to guide us through will we truly comprehend and ascend into a greater knowing, an expansion of our consciousness. Then we can establish a new way of being and living, free of past limiting and harmful ideas. Yes, there are always appearances, whether they are individual or global. They have their reality. But there is a reality so much greater than the appearances. And that is the reality of spirit in action. You know, this weekend, we're celebrating a time of belief that the veil between this world and another world is very thin. We've got Halloween, Samhain, and Dia de los Muertos for a few. And all are considered liminal or threshold days, when some beliefs teach that the veil can be passed through more easily to see that other world and honor those in it. We can use this as a metaphor for moving past the scary monsters of appearances. We can use it in honoring the other world. We see children trick or treating with delight, and they're not really afraid. They think it's just a big, funny, exciting thing. What if we brought that same consciousness, knowing we are safe despite appearances, to the circumstances of our lives and our world? What if we truly believe and live our lives trusting in our spiritual principles of love, oneness, and freedom? If we stay in the field of right-wrong duality, we'll never experience the true freedom and love of the universe. We have to let go of old stories, old beliefs, old hurts and fears and angers. And we do this not by wrestling with them, but by looking up and within to the source, which is our freedom. Now here's a little practice that you can use at home every day. So I just invite you to participate now, just for a few minutes, in using your eyes of love. Just relax into your chair wherever you may be and close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that, or just take a soft focus on anything in the room around wherever you may be. Now I just invite you to take a breath and just feel that breath deep within you. Just allow it to come rushing into your body. And then just allow yourself to release any tension as you exhale. So let's do that again. Just take in a breath of life that's all around you. And as you exhale, just release any tension. Now, as you breathe and relax, just bring any area of concern, personal or global, into your mind. And just see it as an observer. just as you would be watching a movie or TV. And as you look at the scene before you, I invite you to look above it, to the light that is shining over it. As you view that light, you notice it is so beautiful and illuminating. Now, just as you're looking at it, just invite Spirit to shed light on that scene that you are viewing. Just be in that light and stillness for a moment and listen. Listen without analyzing to the wisdom that might seem from beyond the veil, yet is always living within us. Just notice that you are relaxed and refreshed at this moment. As you give thanks for the new perspective or thought you have received, just take another breath. And as you continue breathing, just simply return to this time and place easily and effortlessly. And know that you have everything within you to bring forth that wisdom you received. So now, as you just move your feet, your fingers, wiggle, open your eyes, here you are. That's living in the light. Eric Butterworth wrote in The Creative Life, the universe that continues to yield its secrets and creates a watermelon from a tiny seed and guides birds across uncharted skies is just as focused on you. The same universal process is your creative genius. As we come together in our field of freedom out beyond wrongdoing and right doing, we can create with that genius. We have the ability to open to life, spirit life that's within us. To quote Mary O'Malley from her book, What's in the Way is the Way, opening to life brings you into full engagement with what is happening rather than keeping you caught up in a conversation about life. It means giving up your war with what life is bringing you. Now that's an interesting thought, huh? Giving up your war with what life is bringing us. I had to think about that for a while. And I love that thought, because what life is bringing us is what we continue to think about consciously or unconsciously. That creative energy or spirit that we call mind or law, because it always receives any thought and starts creating, does so without any concern or analysis about what we're putting into it. As we continue to think the same things, we continue to create the same things in our life. It's only when we wake up and recognize the power of our thought, which is the infinite intelligence of spirit within us, that we begin to think new thoughts and create the life we truly want. As we let go of our old judgments and opinions and the need to be right, we can choose joyous living as spiritual beings, having a spiritual experiences while still being in human form. As we make more life-affirming choices based in love for ourselves, we come together. We come together to co-create greater love and freedom for everyone. We can truly say we step out beyond our old limiting ideas into a fresh new field of freedom together. In fact, that's a really good affirmation for us to use today. Let's do this together. So I'm going to repeat it first, and the first one we're going to do is I. So I step out beyond my old limiting ideas into a fresh new field of freedom. Let's say it together. I step out beyond my old limiting ideas into a fresh new field of freedom. Let's do it one more time. I step out beyond my old limiting ideas into a fresh new field of freedom. And then the second one is we. We step out beyond our old limiting ideas into a fresh new field of freedom. So let's say that one together. We step out beyond our old limiting ideas into a fresh new field of freedom. How does that feel to you? Weird? wonderful, exciting, creepy, scary? Well, that's just because it's Halloween, you know. So this week I invite each of us, as we go through the week, to see ourselves and each other through our spiritual eyes of love, knowing without question that together, working for change in this new field of freedom, we can absolutely create a world that works for all. And so it is. All right. And so now let's just have a short prayer to put that cap on it. I just recognize right now that there is only one infinite loving presence, God, Spirit, universe, whatever we may call it. It is the all that is, that has created all that is, that always will create all that is. We are each individual emanations of that creative love. We each have spirit within us, mind, intelligence, and physical body that we create as we use our thoughts with love. I know that that one loving spirit, as it exists within us, gives us the ability to see through eyes of love, to be able to see everyone, ourselves first, with love, and then others, to give and receive love, for that is what we are here for as individuals, to create that world that works for everyone. So right now I speak a word for anyone, anywhere, who does not feel that love, for anyone, anywhere, who is unaware of that love. And I know that we hold a place in this teaching for those who have not yet found that they are always deeply connected with that one love, and that they are that love. And I know that in this awareness, there is joy and freedom as we step out into this new field of freedom together. And for this, I am so grateful. So very, very grateful. And so now I just release my word, knowing that it is already done into the law of mind that always says, oh, yes, my beloveds, yes, yes. And together we may affirm it by saying, and so it is. Okay. And now, I have to check my menu. Hold on. I do this every week, and you'd think by now I'd have it. Ooh, now, where are they? Yo, musicians. This is our big finale here. I mean, this is a big song coming up. Oh, you know, you put three people who've known each other outside of here together, and it's just, you know, you get what you might just put together there. But this is worth waiting for, I guarantee you. So they're going to do a really fun thing, and a lot of people in the audience are going to be participating. And it's probably going to be a little loud and noisy, but I think you're going to like it, and you're going to have good fun with it. So just hang on and have some fun. And Kevin, would you tell us the story?
Okay, so this is a cool song. It's a Creole song. It was a pop song in the 80s and in the 60s. It keeps coming up. And I think a lot of people don't realize it's a Creole song. It's where it comes from. It's called Iko Iko. And what's really cool, it's probably the most Creole song that there is, because what Creole is like if you think of like a pidgin language, where people come from different areas and they use a little of this language, a little of that language, and they basically develop a way for us to all work together in one area. And the only difference between a pidgin language and a Creole language is that a Creole language is an entire generation grew up speaking this language. So now it's like a legit, ratified language. And the same thing with this song. Nobody knows the actual lyrics, because you have African American, Native American, French, all in one area, and they're all singing this song, and they're using their own words. But the basic idea of the song is the same. There's two Native American tribes parading towards an area where they're going to intersect. And at that time, it would be a fight for the land. The flag boy would go in front, and they would say, oh, there's these other guys coming. And so it was just basically the song's about there's an impending war. And it's hard to get this from the lyrics exactly, but in the end, the chiefs decide the land belongs to no man. We're going to share it equally and have peace and share the land. So, and in that nature, I think the song kind of belongs to everyone because everybody's got a drum in their hand, or a lot of us do. So feel free to just have a good time with it. It's definitely one that's just all about everybody having fun. All right. You're on, drummers. Feel free to clap along, whatever you feel. Have fun. 1, 2, 3. My grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. My grandma told your grandma, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about ain't I, I go one day. Shekamo fino anane, shekamo finane. See that man all dressed in green. I go one day. Bet you $5 he'll kill you dead. Shekamo finane. Talking about ain't I, I go one day. Shekamo fino anane, shekamo finane. Dressed in green, I go one day. He's not a man, he's a loving machine. Shekamo finane, talking about ain't I, I go one day. Shekamo fina anane, shekamo finane, talking about ain't I go one day. Shekamo fina anane, shekamo finane. All right, y'all gotta sing along. Here we go. Ain't I go one day. Shekamofina anane, Shekamofinane, Shekamofinane, Shekamofinane.
All right. Well, heavens to Murgatroyd, I'll tell you. I do believe we may have raised the roof a couple of inches on that one. Thank you, Kevin, and the fellas over there, and all of the conga line out here. We had the CSLV dancers performing for you today. It's a little something special. All right. What a wonderful time. And that, that's community as we come together. So y'all got to come down. If you're out there, you got to come down and have a good time in here. We'll be doing this every Sunday, just in case you missed it today. So right now, I'd like to shift to our center's prosperity moment when we share our prosperity and we share an affirmation. And, I'd like to share our center's purpose with you now, because in every way, all your gifts of love, time, talent, or treasure support this purpose. And it is, CSLV is a welcoming community grounded in love, spiritual wisdom, and equity. A beacon of light serving all humanity, both near and far. And so now, if you'd like to begin, if you want to take your gifts of time, talent, treasure, and place them over your heart, and just bless them as we say this prosperity affirmation together. My abundance flows freely from the universal fountain of love. Let's say that one together again. My abundance flows freely from the universal fountain of love. Okay. You can collect the gifts, fellas. Thank you. All right, thank you. So you can keep playing. I'm just going to say a blessing of joy with that joyful music playing in the background here. It's great joy that these gifts come from the pure love of Spirit, and they're given through open hearts that continue to support this center. We know that we do good work here in this center. We do good work in the community, and these gifts go out around the world doing greater work as we step into the field of freedom together through our sharing of our abundance. And so I just give thanks, and I bless these gifts with the great love of the abundant flow of Spirit. And so it is. There we go. Thank you. That was so nice. I like it when you play when we do the prosperity and the blessing. It's nice. Now, don't forget, next week, we've got Deanna Saldana joining us for the first time. That's going to be exciting. She's our new vocalist, and who knows, we may have other surprises for you as we go along. You just never know what's going to happen here on Sunday. So right now, it's time for our peace song, and it is our custom to stand up and get in a circle. And for any precautions that you feel like taking safety-wise, do whatever is most comfortable to you. And we will get in our circle and sing our song together. Yeah, it's a small circle. It's a good circle, though, It's a good circle. Yeah. I want to turn this off. So, now you know this thing that we do that's so good. So, if you want, repeat after me. Good job. You are paying attention. Boy, these folks are hot today here, I tell you. The infinite intelligence of Spirit is moving through everyone. So, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. And life is in my body. Oh, and it's in the body of all my affairs. Yes, it is. I think it. I feel it. And I love it. I love it. Just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. And so we say, thank you, life. Thank you, life. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time.